Here's the final product. Bringing a old power supply back to usefulness by putting in a display. And at the end of the video, I'll show you what the ripple is out of the model D-612T. So you've seen the finished product. This is how I put it together. Take that, drill the holes, mount it in there. On each of the ends, one of these will be going in. The switch, I'm just going to take through an existing hole, and the panel mount goes there. There will be another little hole in the back here coming out, which will feed into the battery. I'm going to keep the battery on the outside of it. That way it's quicker and easier just to disconnect. Don't leave batteries in equipment. They rot. I'd like to say that I patiently cut out the display area with this. No, I used a grinding bit on the Gremel, and I wouldn't say I caused too much dust because it essentially melted its way through the plastic, and then I just had to clean up a tiny bit at the end. Ditto on the ends, just ground them out. So much simpler that way. For the bottom screw holes, I actually did use my drill press. And now the sacrificial power cord. I've put some connectors on these, so what I'll do is I'll wire everything up before I actually mount this. My fancy wiring diagram. Gotta have your priorities. This kit came with everything except this type. Oh well. So I went out and picked up a couple of these. Last but not least, the battery holder. So using my bench supply, it reads 10 volts on this, and my output over there is 10.1. So that part's not too bad. Try something with a bit of a draw. That's a 10 ohm, 10 watt resistor here. I've got an input of roughly 10 volts. So that's not too bad. My bench supply is saying 0.98 of an amp. This is saying 0.96. Okay. So here's the setup. I've got 20 ohms, 10 watt resistors in series. I've got 11.3 volts, Come on, focus. Oh, there's my eyes out of focus. 0.53 amps going through it. The display, of course, doesn't work. This display doesn't work. So I've been able to take this power supply that is vintage. I think it's 60 odd years old. And I can still use it with an external volt and amp display. So let's see what the D-612T filtered power supply can output. .5 volts, 1.1 amp with that load on there. And it does work down to 0. With this setup at 12.5 volts, drawing 0.56 amps, the ripple is, focus, 168 millivolts. And that's better. 168 millivolts. Not bad. There's not a regulator in there. It's just a very big inductor and capacitor with all the other assorted stuff. And that can be seen in this other video. So, restored an old vintage machine, stuck a display on it. I've now got a fairly powerful power supply.